The world is at halt. No one is leaving their countries or even homes. All passenger planes are grounded. Economic collapse of most of the superpowers is imminent. Our civilization has never seen this before. All of this is because of a virus which has unprecedented nature and transmission capability. The COVID-19 virus, or the SARS-CoV-2. However, there is one country which has its machines going. Production's gaining pace, and another economic boom is going to happen. And that country is China. When the world is struggling to stop the pandemic, China starts to rule them all. Why is China so little affected when it's China where the disease started its journey? Why do the big cities of China like Beijing and Shanghai have such small numbers of cases, while cities like New York in the United States of America are overflowing with cases, almost equal to the total cases in China? How is it possible that Italy, having one of the best medical systems, is at the brink of collapse with total deaths of 10,023 already, while China has incurred a death of only 3,300 so far? The experts all over the world are divided into two groups with two different theories which are equally shocking. The first theory talks about the iron fist with which China has suppressed its people, and in the process has reported a much lower number of cases and deaths. The other theory, however, is an extremely dangerous one, and it's the topic of today's video. There's a finite possibility that the COVID-19 virus is a bioweapon created by the Chinese government. And the reports of the numbers of cases and deaths is actually inflated to make it look believable to the rest of the world. Is there any other way to dominate the civilization in today's world, where superpowers always have their nuclear weapons ready? The answer is economic warfare. Somehow cripple the economies of the enemy countries and then acquire the market with your own goods. But how to cripple the economy? The answer is very simple. Force them to reduce their production. Solution: biological warfare. The silent warfare of a biological weapon is way more lethal than any other forms of war. It cripples the human resources, reduces the production, and cripples the economy. If the cover-up is so brilliantly orchestrated that no one can directly blame China, they can undoubtedly rule the world. Could COVID-19 be a bioweapon of China? What are they going to gain if the economies of other superpowers are crippled? What is at stake here? Let's dig deeper. Recently, a $20 trillion lawsuit has been filed against Chinese authorities in the US over the coronavirus outbreak. The lawsuit is filed against Chinese government, Chinese army, and most importantly, the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Yes, there's an Institute of Virology in Wuhan, the starting point of this calamity. The allegation is severe. It says that the virus was released purposefully from the Wuhan Institute of Virology, which was designed by China for mass destruction. To cover up, China has linked coronavirus-related statements and documents with national security protocols. Sounds fishy, right? In 2017 and 2018, the Biosafety Level 4 laboratory at the Wuhan Institute of Virology was blamed for several violations. There was a huge mess at that time. So it's easy to believe that something was being experimented on and got out. Was it deliberate this time for SARS-CoV-2? Scientists have shown that the recent COVID-19 virus is extremely dangerous because of its capability of tremendous transmission. The RNA sequence, which have been made public by several research groups, have shown striking similarity of the SARS-CoV-2 virus with coronaviruses found in wild bats or wild pangolins. But something is missing. And that something is a part of the gene which made the virus jump from animals to humans, which, in other cases, is completely impossible. That part of the gene has also made the virus extremely transmissible. Is it a natural mutation? Or is it a product of Chinese bioweapon research? In December 2019, the Chinese whistleblower physician Li Wenliang warned his colleagues at the Wuhan Central Hospital of a possible outbreak of a disease that resembled severe acute respiratory syndrome, or SARS. But his claims were disapproved by the Chinese authorities, and he was detained by police for spreading false rumors. He was subsequently forced by police to admit that he had tried to disrupt social order. Was it the first step of the Chinese government to cover up something bigger and more dangerous? It's also suspected that China already has the antiviral medicine against the deadly virus, which they've used to curb the death toll, but the Chinese authority is reluctant to make the result of these drugs public. they've submitted very tiny amounts of data to the WHO on the usefulness of a medicine that they're using. But that data is inconclusive and fails to establish the effectiveness of the drug. Is it deliberately done? Unfortunately, the questions accumulate, one after the other, without any conclusive answers. One group of conspiracy theorists have also shown connections between the WHO Director General and the Chinese authority. The current Director General of WHO was accused of covering up multiple epidemics in Ethiopia when he was the health minister there. His election to the head of the WHO was allegedly backed by China in 2017. These theories also claim that several other measures taken up by the WHO Director General were to cooperate with China's plan of global domination. The delay in declaring the disease a pandemic is one such piece in this puzzle. But to understand the depth of this global catastrophe, the economic gains of China from this pandemic must be assessed. China has a GDP of over $14 trillion as of 2019, and Chinese products have already covered most of the global markets. If the production chains of other countries come to a halt, Chinese products will overshadow any local items within weeks. China also has the largest amount of foreign exchange reserves, according to the International Monetary Fund, or IMF. If the global lockdown goes on for over a month, the economic backbone of the superpowers would be broken. This would bring down the share prices of many companies which are based outside of China. China can easily convert their forex into equity or company shares and emerge as the controlling power of the global economy. This would mean control over politics of several superpowers, like the US or the Euro nations. Although the stakes are really high, the gain from this global catastrophe would boost Chinese economy beyond imagination. An economic slowdown of the rest of the world would mean weaker military potentials also. This can have greater implications if any crisis like the South China Sea dispute arises in the future. If the current global economic slowdown continues, the US won't be able to impose any sanctions on China, as the US might lose its superpower title. The cover-ups and economic gains of China clearly show that it's China who'll come unscathed out of this catastrophe to become the global leader. There are several reports which confirm commencement of production in industries in the Hubei province itself, while other parts of China were already operational during the outbreak. However, the theory of SARS-CoV-2 to be a Chinese bioweapon is still under inspection. For now, this is a conspiracy theory and not to be taken very seriously. It's possible that natural mutation of the virus is the underlying reason behind its deadly nature. It's also possible that the Chinese government has taken strict measures to stop the spread of the virus. But as China is recovering and the rest of the world is under complete lockdown, the conspiracy theories like this have garnered a lot of attention.